Hello?
Hello, Sydney. Remember me?
Welcome to Movie World, where we review movies, shows, and everything that we love. Today, we are going to continue our movie review series. We are going to review Scream 2. This movie was released back in 1997. There are no spoilers in this movie review, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this movie review. Sydney survived the events of Woodsboro, but her nightmare isn't over. There was a tragic event that happened at the Stab movie premiere, which is based off the events that Sydney lived through. However, with the current killings, it's clear there's another Ghostface killer on the loose. Sydney, Gail, and her surviving friends have to find out who's behind these new murders before they end up on the killer's list. That's a brief summary of this movie. Now let's get into the pros and cons. Pro number one is that they brought back the team and cast. One thing that I really liked about actually this movie and the franchise in general is that they try to bring back people from the first movie. And so one of the things I don't like is when you make a first movie and then you don't bring back the characters, because that's why you love the first movie, is because of the characters. And I like the fact that they brought back Wes, they brought back Kevin to write, is I'm glad that they, with a bigger budget, they still kept the old team. So the second pro is going to be the bigger cast and diversity. So with the second movie, they got a $10 million increase in the budget. And with that increase, they definitely didn't waste any money on not bringing in a bigger cast. I like the fact that Kevin kept to his old writing style of breaking the fourth wall by talking about a scary movie within a scary movie, and that he called out the fact that there wasn't a lot of diversity in the scary movie genre. He brought in heavy hitters like Jada Pinkett Smith and Omar Epps to talk about that, and I'm glad he called that out and recognized that there needs to be more diversity in the scary movie genre. There was also heavy hitters like Sarah Michelle Gellar, who at the time was a well-known 90s star in her roles in Buffy, so they definitely brought in a bigger, well-known cast in this second movie. The third pro is that the scenes were still scary. Wes directed this, and he also directed Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger, so you can only expect that anything he's involved in, it's going to be scary. One of the scenes which I'm showing on the screen that I really enjoyed was the one scene that kind of explains what I mean by the intensity of his scary movies, where Sydney's trying to get out of the car and the Ghostface killer is passed out. And you can feel the intensity in that scene, because in your head you're thinking the Ghostface killer is gonna like wake up and grab her. So anyways, that scene is so intense, and there's so many other great scary scenes in this movie. So one of the cons I would give this movie is that it felt a little rushed, and what I mean by that is that the ending, it was good, but I kind of felt like it should have been a little bit more shocking like the first movie. I could see where there would be a link between Sydney and the killer, but it just felt a little forced. I think they should have spent a little bit more time on the ending to make it just a little bit more creative. But you know what? I'm not going to hold that against Kevin, the writer, and I'm also, not going to hold that against Wes, because they had some challenges in this movie. The script leaked to the internet, so they had to do some major changes to the movie. So I'm not sure with the original script, maybe the movie had more of a shocking ending. I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10, a 95%. This was a good movie. This was a good sequel. I mean, sequels are hard. It's hard to recapture what you did in the first movie, but I think they did a really good job. There were a lot of good points in this movie. They brought in more diversity. They made references to the first movie. They brought that same humor and witty comments by breaking the fourth wall. And Randy, my favorite character, he broke down the rules of a sequel.
Someone's out to make a sequel, so it's our job to observe the rules of the sequel. Number one, the body count is always bigger. Number 2, the death scenes are always much more elaborate.
To close this out, this is a good movie. This is a solid movie. I give it a 9.5 and 95%. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Have a movie magic day and take care.